Howdy everyone. I have the latch assembly is now complete. It's finished at this point. It's installed. I still have all the linkage in here to connect, which is what I'll be working on next, but you can see that it's in. The gold that you see inside here, that's Kapton tape. I've just put some Kapton tape in there just so it won't have metal to metal contact. I don't know how durable that's going to be, but we'll see. I've got the spring mechanism is in. I do not like this setup at all because the Z-bend that's in this bracket, or the Z-bend that's in the rod that goes through this piece, it's a very loose fit, and the spring tends to jump up on top of this piece, and then it kind of binds a little bit, and I don't know what to do about it. It's not the end of the world, but I tried taking up the gap in the Z-bend with some washers. That really didn't work. And then I tried bending the Z-bend a little bit tighter, but I couldn't get it right. And I was running out of length of wire, although I can get more wire, I'm sure. But anyway, if you guys have a solution for this kind of janky spring setup, I'd appreciate a comment or an email. Because like I said, it works, but it's not my favorite. So this is now in. So I'm going to turn my attention now to the hooks that run across here to latch onto the canopy. And in order to do that, I had to put my crossbar back on, and I have my seats. The seat backs will go in here just to check for clearance, but obviously this is the anti-splat seat mod. So with this being in place, I can't do the straightforward latch mechanism for the canopy. So I have to basically move that to the back side of this support. Like I said, I'm getting started on that now, so ought to be fun. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Howdy, everyone. Okay, so according to the written instructions, if you have the stock seat setup, if you don't have this anti-splat seat modification, if you just have your stock Vans supplied support through here, basically you have your white mounting blocks, and those fit on the ends of the latch mechanism that runs across here. There are pre-drilled holes in the uprights bulkhead for those blocks. All you need to do is fit the blocks to the latch mechanism on each end, and you can drill through the bulkhead upright into the block, take the blocks off, drill them through, and then bolt it in place, basically. So I had already done that just to make sure that I've got at least one block on that side and one block on this side that are in the stock locations so that the hooks will latch correctly. Once I had done that, then I went ahead and cut it, which is what you see here. So let me go around. So this is the block here in its stock location, and it's held in with a couple of regular nuts. As always, I don't use my my nylon locking nuts when I'm trial fitting because they're removed and replaced a lot. So this block is in the stock location. You can see that the arm is engaged in the slot up here at the top. It's all the way in. So now I have cut this end. To get my arm out of the way, I cut this side off. And now I have to drill this block through and then mark the hole locations on the bulkhead so I can drill the bulkhead. But of course, you want to stay away, you want to maintain edge distance from this face. Of course, you need room behind here to get the nut on, so you want to stay away from this face, outboard from this face. You'll also notice there are two dome head rivets that are interfering with the block. So I'm just going to clean out the block a little bit in those two locations so this will fit flat against the bulkhead. It's no big deal. I can't move the block outboard, or rather into this piece any further, because you can see how big the weld is. So this is about as close as I can get the block to the arm, and since the arm is fully engaged up here in the cutout, I can't move the arm. So this is where the block needs to go. So I just have to put a couple reliefs, really shallow reliefs in the block to clear those two rivets. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to clamp this down, figure out exactly where I want to put the holes, drill the block, drill the upright, and this will be done. And then I'm going to repeat the procedure for that side. All right, I'll be back. Howdy everyone. All right, I'm going to show you the method that I use to clean off the white powder coating on these steel parts. So here's the hook that I just cut off, and now I have to basically remove the powder coating in this area here, just like on this side, so that the bearing block will actually fit. The block won't fit over top of the powder coat. So what I decided to do, I just measured this depth here. This is 5/8. So I measured 5/8 here, and then I marked a line with a Sharpie, just roughly. And then I used a knife, and I basically scored through the powder coat along that line all the way around using a sharp blade. Just scored the powder coat down to the bare metal all the way around on that line. From here, what I've found works well is to use a scraper. I have this type of scraper here. These come in different widths, and I've got a set of these. I like this one for this purpose because it's nice and thin. And you basically, if you've done woodworking, this will look familiar. You basically just scrape the paint back to that line. Now what I like to do is I like to stop just short of the line, and then I'll come back and do that last little bit at the end. So it's basically just like with woodworking. You just scrape it back. I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up, but I'll show it to you here in a minute. Like I said, I don't go up to the line on my first pass. Rotate it a little bit. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. Coating comes off. It's pretty thick. I'm surprised it's on so thick, but it does come off nicely. After you get done with the scraping, then you can, of course, clean it up with some sandpaper. And I'll show you another little trick that could work for cleaning these up after you get the powder coat off. It's exciting, isn't it? It's like watching paint dry. But you can see once you get going, it goes fast. All right. Let me see if I can get this in camera view here. So there it is. Hopefully that will come into focus. That's just my initial pass with the scraper. And like I said, I'll scrape all the way down to that line after I get the majority of it taken off. What the line does, it just gives you a nice clean cut. When you get down to that scored line, it just kind of chips off and it will stay relatively nice and clean and straight. So I won't bore you with the rest of the process. I'll just walk through it and show you the different results along the way. But that's how I decided to do it, and it works pretty well.